to be wearing the beard as a disguise. They said the gunman entered the restaurant, exchanged a few words with the employee who presented him with a menu. The gunman then shot him in the back, firing 15 rounds. There's little else at this moment that we know about the gunman other than that he killed 3 unarmed individuals in quick succession and appears to be ready to take even more lives. When he turned onto Sullivan Street, he encountered 2 of the city's unsung heroes, 2 New York City auxiliary police officers. They were part of the 4,500-member program whose volunteers serve without compensation as the eyes and ears of this department. Day in and day out, they sacrifice their free time and energy in service to the people of our city. Now, 2 of their ranks have made the ultimate sacrifice, and we mourn their loss. And on behalf of the entire police department, I want to express my condolences to the families of auxiliary officers Nicholas Vaccaro and Eugene Marshall. Mr. Mayor?
Okay, questions? Yes, Miss. Yes, Nicholas, Nicholas, middle name Todd, Todd, last name Vaccaro, Pekearo, and then Yevgeny, Yevgeni, Marshalik, Marshalik, but he used the first name Eugene, Eugene.
Do you have an identification for the person and the piece of liquor that was also
Have you identified the assailant?
No,
the victim.
We have identified the victim, yes. His last name is Morales. We'll give you the specifics.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Commissioner, were either of the APOs wearing bullet-resistant vests, and does the city have any plans to provide those?
I believe one did and the other didn't, but they were both, the vests would not have made any difference whatsoever in this case, whether they were wearing them or not.
The city does not provide them?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Any idea what motivated the initial shooting?
We have none whatsoever. It's just inexplicable would be the only word I would use. Apparently, the first time he asked for a weapon, for a menu, the person giving him the menu turned his back and he put 15 bullets in him. I don't know. After that, there's nothing you can say.
People said these were kind of like almost like a machine gun. They heard like machine gun sound. It's semi-automatic, equivalent to like almost like a machine gun. The way the bullets come out.
You have to pull the trigger each time.
Yes,
And incidentally, I left off the Y in the first name, Yevgeny.
you know where two officers were from? What part of the city?
Yes, one lived locally and the other one in Nassau County. Yes, ma'am.
How did unarmed auxiliary officers run toward reported shots fired?
I think what would appear here is they'd heard a description, and when the perpetrator ran towards them, one of them tried to stop the perpetrator. The perpetrator fired and then went after the other one. Yes, miss.
Were the auxiliary officers responding to the shooting?
They were on their regular patrol. Did they have...
We believe that they were near the corner of Bleecker and Sullivan Street. They heard the description transmitted over the radio. Then we believe they saw this individual running north on Sullivan Street. They pursued him. He ran north on the west side of Sullivan Street. They ran north on the east side, slightly behind them. And when he saw them, he came across the street and shot both of them.
You said he fired 15 shots at the pizza place. Do you have any idea how many rounds he may have fired total?
He fired at least 23 rounds. We're still counting the shell casings at the scene, but he fired at least 23 rounds. And as we said, he had many more rounds of ammunition with him. He had at least 100 rounds in the bag, plus he had a holder that had two magazines on his belt.
Well, let me repeat one thing that the commissioner said. If you listen carefully, he was running on one side of the street, they were on the other. He literally crossed the street with his gun out to kill them in cold blood. So,
Where was the civilian shot and how did that happen?
in the pizzeria.
And people on Sullivan Street said they heard bullets, the whiz of bullets through the air. The guys parked near Houston Street, Sullivan Street. So somehow shots were going up and down Sullivan Street. Would that have come from the shootout?
We're still trying to determine all of the facts as far as how many rounds were fired.
Sir?
The auxiliary police uniforms to the uninitiated look virtually indistinguishable from regular police uniforms. I realize that's by design. Is there any indication that the perpetrator thought they were either regular POs or would it be of no consequence?
Murder is murder. You're right, he probably could not tell from across the street. I don't know, I'd have to look very carefully at the patch. That's the only ways I can tell, or to look and see whether they're carrying a gun. This perpetrator literally saw them across the street, took a U-turn, or a 90-degree turn, ran across the street, and shot both of them. Yes, sir.
Do we know any other information about the two auxiliary officers? Are they students or what?
The younger one is a student at NYU. The one who's about to be 20 years old, I believe, went to Stuyvesant High School. His family is an immigrant family from Russia. The older one, I had the long talks with his mother over the last 3 or 4 hours, was a writer, and was about to, he'd hoped to have a book published. The publisher had started to express some interest, and he thought that he was finally going to achieve his lifelong dream. The father of the younger one said that his dream was someday to go into law enforcement, perhaps become a lawyer. Yes, miss.
Given the fact that auxiliary police officers are supposed to be carrying guns, is there a procedure in place where they are supposed to be taken after people with guns? In this situation, what should they have done? What should they have done?
Well, we want them to act prudently, of course, but this was a natural reaction. They saw this individual running. He may or may not have been tied to that event, but they certainly were suspicious of him. They weren't certain, I believe, exactly what he had done. It was their natural instinct to pursue this individual.
Auxiliary police are calling it a horrible night for the city and the police department. The mayor said 2 auxiliary police officers are among 4 people dead after a shootout in Manhattan. Happened last night outside a bar in Greenwich Village. The mayor says the alleged gunman was shot and killed at the scene by regular police officers. Investigators say the fleeing cop had chased the suspect after he allegedly shot and killed a worker at a pizza parlor.